This video is for Theme Handling Data Unit Pictograms, and this is video 1. In this video tutorial we're going to use the JIT software, which is all online, and we're going to use the Mix program to create pictograms. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to navigate to the JIT website. To do that, you can either use the portal and follow the steps that your teacher takes you through to get to the JIT website, or if you haven't got access to the portal, you can type in this web address here into your web browser and it'll take you to this website. If there's too many letters for you to type in here and you're finding that difficult, what you could do is type in this web address into your web browser and it'll take you to the same place. So this web address will take you to this website. Make sure that you type this in carefully, making sure that you use lowercase letters where they are lowercase and capital letters where they are capital letters. Once you've got to the JIT website, the first thing we need to do is we need to sign in. I know that we need to sign in because here this orange button says sign in. So if we click on that button, you'll then need to enter your details for your school and your own username and password. I'm going to enter the details for my school. I'm then going to enter in my username. Now remember, this is my username, so make sure that you get your school details, username and password from your teacher. Once you've entered those in, you need to click on the green tick. And if you typed in those details correctly, you'll notice that the orange sign in button has changed and it now says, the orange circle says save. This means that we've logged into the JIT software and we can start using the Mix program. I'm going to click on the Mix program, and what Mix allows us to do is it allows us to use a combination of all these different pieces of software in one. We're going to start by using this option here on the top right where it says write about your work. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll along until we find this red picture here is the Pictograms software. So what we can do is once we've selected that and we click on the green tick, it combines the Pictogram software, which we usually find here, as well as an extra text box at the bottom. So that means that it's actually mixed the different software that we're using here. If we click on the star icon here, it brings up a template menu, and these templates are the different templates we can use to record results from any different data collections that we might do. Let's say, for example, I was collecting data about fruit. So I might use the fruit template by clicking on that. And then I might go around my class and collect data about people's favourite fruits. So 2 of my class friends might like apples the most. 3 of them might like bananas. 2 of them might like oranges. 1 of them might like pears. And maybe 6 of them might like strawberries the most. If you don't want to use this template, you can use a different one or you can set up your own. So what I might do is, I've had a practice with this pictogram, but now I want to create a new one. So I move my arrow over to the new button here at the top and click. That'll prompt me by saying, do you want to save your file? And I don't want to save this because it was just something I was practicing with. So I'm just going to press on the no button. From here I'm going to choose the same mix again, so it's the Pictogram mix, and click on the green tick. Now I've got this blank template. I'm not going to click on this star button to create a generated template. I'm just going to use a blank one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this animals button over here. By clicking on that, I'm presented with this menu of different characters or different pictures that I can use inside my pictogram. I might choose to do a pictogram about transport. So if I move my arrow over the helicopter here, the transport pictures, I can now use these arrows here to flick through the different types of transport that I might want to collect data about. So for example, I might want to find out what transport people take to school. So what I would do is, let's say for example, some people might come to school on a bike. So if I move my arrow over the bike, click on the bike just once and then let go, my arrow turns into a bike. And now what I can do is I can put this bike inside of the first box and click, and that puts that bike inside the first pictogram option. I can then go and choose a different type of transport, for example a bus. Again, I'll just click on that once, let go of my mouse button, move the bus over to the second box and click again to put that one in there. Some people might come in a car, so again I do the same there. Other people might, might come in a helicopter, let's say, like that. And so I've got 4 different options here that people can choose from in terms of how they might get to school. Now, I don't want any more options, but I've still got this box here. Okay, you can see that the helicopter is still following me around. So what I want to do is, I want to get rid of this last box. So to do that, there's a minus symbol here, look. What I can do is if I press on that, it'll get rid of that last box for me. So now I've only got 4 options in my pictogram for people to choose from. Because the helicopter was the last thing that I clicked on, sometimes it still follows me around like this. So to avoid that from happening, what you can do is just move your arrow over to one of these colours here, and if you just click on one, the helicopter no longer follows you around. Okay? I then need to go around my class and collect the data that I want to put into my pictogram. So I'd go around and I'd ask people, how do you get to school? And for example, 2 people or 3 people might travel by bike, 5 people might travel by bus, 7 people might travel by car. You might have one lucky person in your class that travels by helicopter. And so now I've got a nice pictogram that shows me that the most people travel by car. However, I can make this pictogram better. First of all, I might want to label these pictures. Okay, so to do that, if I put my arrow over this word label, you can see that it changes to a hash. But when it's done that, I can click, and I can click at the end of the word label and press my backspace button on my keyboard to delete that, and then I can type what each of these methods of transport are, and I can do that for each one, like this. I can also make this pictogram better by putting a title at the top. So, the best title that I can think of to put here is How We Get to School. And that's labelled my pictogram really nicely, because if people saw the title, they could see that the question that I asked was, how do you get to school? And then they can see from the pictogram how people get to school. And then to finish this pictogram and make it as good as it can possibly be, I need to write in this box here down at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my arrow into the box and click. You'll notice that straight away this has changed here. I'm going to explain what these things do in a minute. And I've got a line that appears here. This is a hash that allows me to start typing. And what I want you to do is, for each of the pictograms that you create, I want you to explain what they show. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example. I could write here, the most popular transport to school is a car. Okay, and if you're struggling with what words to put in here, you've got a really nice tool here that can help you. You can see where it says top words with these arrows. If you click on that, you can see that a lot of words have appeared here. In case I'm not quite sure how to spell them, I can flick through these words. For example, I could scroll across and find things about space, for example, and transport, which is what mine is about. And if I wasn't too sure how to spell car, let's say I didn't know how to spell that word, I could flick through this word bank and click the word that I want, and it will put it into my writing for me. I can also change the colour of the text if I want to, by making sure that my cursor is flashing inside this box and then just clicking on the colour that I want to change the text to. I can also change the style of the writing, so I might want it in a posh style, or I might want it in a comic style, or a writing style. I like that one. And I can also change the size of it if I want to, so I can make it really small, I can make it really big, or I can put it in the middle like that so that it fits the box nicely. So there I've got a really nice pictogram that shows how people in my class get to school, and I've explained that the most popular transport to school is a car. To finish, I might want to also write another line by pressing enter on my keyboard, and underneath here I might put the least popular transport to school is by helicopter. You can see there, look, that my text is too big to all fit on, so I'm just going to change the size of it to a smaller one like that. So the most popular transport to school is a car, you can see that, and the least popular transport to school is by helicopter. Okay, so if you can create a pictogram like that, make sure you put a title on it, make sure you put a description at the bottom that explains what your pictogram shows. That'd be fantastic.